Sorry for the delay. I'm just getting these Marks and Spencer's pistachio and almond all butter cookies out of my teeth. Very, very good. Very, very good. But not very good for Tommy Fury. I tell you what, Queensby will be pissed right now. I tell you what, Frank Warren will be fucking pissed right now. I tell you what, John Fury will be pissed right now. What do you guys think? Legit or bullshit? Hit me up in the comment section right now. We've got 12 people in here and it's been under 60 seconds. Legit or bullshit? Look at that, 26 people here. It's been less than under a minute. Tommy Fury's injury. Type now in the comment section. Legit or bullshit? That's what I want to hear. We're going to do a kind of an unscientific poll. Legit or bullshit? Right, let's go through this. Jesus Christ, people can't follow simple instructions. Legit or bullshit? Dudes are saying, I think it's real. So is that legit, yeah? Harvey Dickens says it's legit. Shevin says it's legit. Crazy D3 says it's BS. Objective Incision says it's BS. Davis and Dave says fighting man, taking it back to the hard streets. Pop, pop, bang. Bullshit. MS22 says bullshit. Oh, he says bit of both. Bit of both. Volts UK says bullshit. Joe says bullshit. Bump of K says bullshit. JRP says biggest payday he could dream of slipped away. Legit. Joe Walls says legit. Snoop Bob says legit but should have fought. Dexter Rico calls BS. Kim Jong-un says this nigga, this bro is capping. Cap. He says this is straight up cap. I don't know what to think, you know. I honestly don't know what to think. I'll be honest with you. I'll be 100% honest with you. I've got to be careful what I say here. But my bullshit meter is ringing on this one. Now listen, right? Again, I'm pretty sure there is something wrong with him, and I'll tell you why. Frank Warren did an interview about a week and a half ago. I think it was with IFL TV. I think it was with Umar. And Frank Warren was asked, how is Tommy Fury getting on? And Frank said, oh, he's had a bit of a cold or something's happened. He's had a bit of a flu or a virus or something, but he's feeling much better now and he's back into his training. So if you actually watch it, it was either Boxing Social or IFL TV. I think it was an IFL TV interview with Umar. And he was asked, Frank was asked, how's Tommy Fury getting on? And he said, he's all right now. He had a few problems. He had a few problems, but they've now been sorted out. Actually, maybe I've got that wrong. Maybe Frank said there's been some problems with his mother. Didn't he have some family problems? But he definitely had some problems, right? But is this bacterial chest infection and a broken rib? I'm not sure. Let's have a look at Tommy Fury's statement. This sounds like pure BS here. Shout out to, what's her name from PR, Melt PR. Melissa Tagliamoku from Melt PR. Because I reckon she's the one who's written this. As if anybody believes Tommy Fury can read and write. The fuck? You ain't fooling me. Tommy Fury says, I am absolutely heartbroken that I have been forced to withdraw from my fight with Jake Paul due to a bacterial chest infection, I believe that, and a broken rib. The beginning of my camp was going so incredibly, and I never expected anything to come in my way from a victory on December the 18th. Bullshit. Can't express how disappointed I am, and really do hope we get this fight rescheduled in the new year. I believe that. I want this fight to happen more than anything. I believe that. I'm now regretfully putting my focus on recovery and a further rescheduled date. Let me just ask this question. iKarma123 says he's scared. iKarma, I want you to answer this for me in the comment section. Because I'm genuinely interested to know, yeah? What's wrong with being scared? Are you not scared before you get into a fight or before you get into a scrap or whatever, do you not get scared? Let me know about that, Karma. Before you get into any kind of scrap, do you not get scared? Before I jump in the ring for sparring, which I haven't jumped in the ring for sparring in about 2 years, but I went for a spar outside the ring two months ago. Do you not get a little bit scared about like what could happen? Look at this, he's scared stuff. All professional fighters get scared, all of them. But anyway, Volks UK is laughing at this heartbreak. It's just that statement. There's no way Tommy Fury even came close to writing that statement. I am absolutely. Can I be honest with you? Do you know what's got my bullshit meter up? It's the bacterial chest infection and the broken rib. Do you know what that sounds like to me? It almost sounds like, yeah, they're sort of double backing up. Like, you know, like if you just said he had a bacterial chest infection, people would just say, all you got is a chest infection. I've dealt with far worse. Just go in there and fight. It's for £1 million. Do you know what I mean? That makes sense. If he just said he had a bacterial chest infection, I guarantee you, ex-pros and all sorts will be coming out saying, so fucking what? We've had that before. We've carried on fighting. You've got 2 or 3 weeks to go, blah, blah, blah. So I do find the broken rib on top of the bacterial infection a bit dodgy. But maybe, like I said, maybe he had a bacterial infection, still carried on training, and then broke his rib. I don't know. Davis and Dave says, yeah, it's the broken rib. Push the envelope too far with that. I mean, I don't know. But again, somebody brought up something about his mother, and I just want to go back through the comments. I don't read the comments in order, so if you don't see your comment, if you don't see your comment come up, that doesn't mean I won't get to it. I just want to get to his comment. Somebody, here we go. Dave Lane said he couldn't make the American presser because his mother was ill. Do you know what? Honestly, this is the kind of reason why, right? You need to be a little bit careful before people start calling these people bottle job. Well, you shouldn't be calling them that anyway. But do you know what I mean? But this is why fans need to be a little bit careful before we start saying people are scared, people are bottle jobs, people don't want it, and all this. And by the way, most of the people who say that, well, we all know what they are, don't you? Most of the people who say that kind of thing, we know what they're like when the punches start flying. But that's a different story altogether. But if it was to come out that something happened to Tommy Fury's mum, right? How would you feel? Do you know what I mean? How would you feel about that? Because that's why I'm a bit reluctant to sort of say too much before we know the full situation. Do you know what I mean? Let's go through some of these. Daryl's not playing games. Daryl, if you want the link, by the way, you can get the link, Daryl. Just anytime you want the link, just let me know. Daryl says, after all the fighting man talk, people don't want to hear pullouts. It's cruel, but that's what happens when your team are too vocal. Do you know what? I can't argue that. I'm sorry, but Daryl's knocked me out in the first round there with that. I can't argue with that. I can't argue it. What can I say to that? After all the fighting man talk, people don't want to hear about pullout. That, by the way, Daryl's been in fights, yeah? Daryl's been in MMA fights and boxing fights. So he's not one of these fucking dickheads, right? Who don't throw punches, sitting on the sidelines, yapping on about grown men being scared. Like, Daryl's actually fucking, punch people in the face, right? So people don't want to hear about pullout. That's what happens when your team are too vocal. I tell you what, I wonder how John Fury's feeling right now. He's made an absolute fucking nana of himself, isn't he? This guy was screaming at a 50-inch LCD screen. This man was threatening to get up and punch an LCD TV and talking about, I will bend your missus over it and do her like a dog. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, John Fury at the minute. John Fury's stock, looking rock bottom. Do you know what I mean? Let's just be real about that, And I like John Fury to a degree. But John Fury's stock at the minute, looking like rock bottom. Let me just get this fool up, John Fury. Why is this man threatening LCD TVs and stuff? This guy, and he's on IFL TV again as well. Do you know what? Like, this guy loves the cameras, doesn't he? Fuck me. Hold on. He's on IFL TV again, isn't he? With another interview. I just want to be left alone. Do you know what John Fury is, He is starting to get a bit Tony Belly these days, isn't he? He is, isn't he? I just Just want to be alone. Just want to be alone. Fucking hell. It's got a funny way of saying it. Boxing Hype says, what did the TV do to him? TMT says, Big John was having a scrap with the fucking TV. Tin, bloody hell. Tin's going in with no loops. Says, Fury is a pull-out bum like his clown brother and father. But Tin, right? Fury fought one of the most avoided men in boxing three times. Whereas King Anthony Joshua fought him 0 times, right? Is that true though, Tin? That is true though, isn't it? Yeah. While Fury did fight Wilder, the other most dangerous guy in the division, right? What was AJ doing? AJ was sitting at his mum's house with a 258 management t-shirt on. Meanwhile, while fucking Barry Hearn was doing all his talking for him, innit? Barry Hearn down the fishing, doing the fishing on IFL TV, talking about we don't need to make this fight until 2022. Am I right, Tim? Did Barry Hearn not say that? Did Barry Hearn not go on IFL TV and say, I don't care if Wilder and AJ doesn't get made until 2022? Is that correct? So look, we got to give it out both ways. Like Daryl's coming on, all right. So we get Daryl on. Daryl, let me read these comments for 60 seconds, and I'll get the link. We get Daryl coming on. If anybody else wants to come on, Tin, you've been on before. You know I don't scream at people. I'm very good with people. So Tin, if you want to jump on, you're welcome to jump on. I don't mind people having a different opinion, as long as people don't start fucking cussing me out. That's all I don't care about. Crazy D3 says the John Fury stick is overplayed now. My name is Jeff says John Fury was bringing the fire stick. John Fury, man. This guy, honestly, if we did a clown of the week, yeah, on this show, John Fury might have to be clown of the week, you know. Like, I'm being deadly serious, like, John Fury might have to be clown of the week. Let me just see if YouTube's got any free clown music. 1 second. I swear YouTube have got free clown music. Let me just see if they've got free clown music. We might have to get it out for Big John Fury, you know. Because he is absolutely fucking taking the piss, he is. Shout out to John Fury, hold on. It's a John Fury, hold on, let me get this up. There you go. That's for John Fury, man. It's got to be done, innit? Sorry, that had to be done, didn't it? Let's be honest, didn't it? That had to be done. And you guys know I love the Furies, but I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, man, but that had to be done, man. I'm risking copyright for that, but it had to happen, man. John Fury's a fucking disgrace, you know that? You know, if John Fury's got any decency, yeah? If John Fury's got any decency, do you know what he'll do? He'll take a sabbatical now, innit? It's time for John Fury to take a sabbatical, isn't it? You know, all this fighting man talk, all this fucking, give it a rest, mate. You're 60 years old, man. You've done your time. You got out. You know what I mean? You've been a good citizen. You're making good money doing after dinner speaking. Stick to the after dinner speaking. Yeah? Stick to the after dinner speaking and speak to the after eights you be eating after that after dinner speaking. Who likes an after eight? Press 1 for after eights. Let me get Daryl in here. 1 sec. Press 1 for after eights. Christmas season. Christmas season. What do you know about after eights? That's what John Fury be eating after his after dinner speaking. Do you know what I mean? That's what John Fury be eating after his after dinner speaking. He used to stick to his after eights, mate. Stick these in his mouth and stay away from the mic. I'm banning John Fury from the microphone for the time being. But let me get the link to Daryl. Let me get the link to Daryl. You guys are pressing 1 for the after eights. TMT saying I'm eating after eight as we speak. Motherfucker, you don't get after eights in France, you lying ass motherfucker. They don't have no after eight in France. TMT. Lying, mate. He trying to say I got after eights. Do they do them in France? Let me know. Right. Give me 1 sec. Right. Daryl's email and 1 sec. Kobosh. All right, Daryl, you have been sent the link. So Daryl will be here in just a sec. You know what Daryl's about, yeah? Some of you have seen Daryl on the heavy bag, so you know Daryl's legit, yeah? Ain't one of these fucking YouTube gangsters. You know what I mean? These fucking YouTube gangsters talking hot shit. Fuck me. Ashar says, I was in Tesco. I know we only mention Waitrose here, but there are orange mint after 8. Listen, let me tell you something. There's defo a time and a place for Tesco. We'll talk about that in another episode. Marco, you know Marco. Marco will stick up for the Furies, yeah? Until the end of time. You know, John Fury could walk into Marco's house, right, with an Uzi and just fucking put holes in every fucking living thing. And Marco would still come out and make excuses for John Fury. But I'm going to listen, Marco. He says, John is a hard man. This is true. And he used to scrap. This is also true. But the truth is he can't get in trouble again or he's getting nicked. That's possibly also true. Needs to be a bit more corporate and corporate-minded on account of his son being heavyweight champ. Yeah, well, I'll go along with that. But, you know, some of the stuff he says, do you know what I mean? Boxing Hype 55. This guy, straight out of the Eubank gym. So if you want an autograph, if you guys want your underwear autographed by Chris Eubank Jr. or Senior, Boxing Hype 55 can sort that out for you. Give him a DM. No joke. Trains in Brighton alongside the Eubanks. He says, lol, didn't Tyson say Tommy can beat him with a broken... They're all fucking clowns, aren't they? They're all fucking clowns. They're all fucking clowns. I'm not going to play the clown music again because I'm going to get done for copyright, but they're all fucking clowns, innit? Simple and plain. All right, let's carry on here. So Frank then goes on to say, oh, God, here we go. Here's FW. FW. You see Uncle Frank had that big smile on his face after Anthony Yard knocked out Linden Arthurs. Did you see my live shows over the weekend? Frank was grinning like a Cheshire cat, wasn't he, after Anthony Yard beat Linden Arthurs? I'd be very, very surprised to see Linden Arthurs ever appear again, yeah, or on Queensbury Promotions. Daryl's here. Let me just quickly read this out. And I'm just going to give this over to Daryl. Right. Frank says, we are gutted for Tommy. This was a big opportunity for him to show the world what he can do. Unfortunately, he's had to withdraw now as he's clearly not anywhere near 100%. We will be working with Jake Paul's team to see if we can reschedule for the new year. Do you know, if Jake Paul turned around and told these two, right, Frank Warren and who I love to pieces, everyone knows that Frank Warren's basically my boss, isn't he? You know how we roll. But if Jake Paul told Frank Warren and Tommy Fury to go fuck themselves and told them the fight was absolutely off, could you blame Jake Paul? You couldn't. Daryl, unmute yourself if you're there, Daryl.
Yes, Ultra, I'm here.
Yeah, what's happening, brother? How's things going with you, bro? All good?
Yeah, really good, brother. Just here in Sydney. So I've just got the news now, man. It's crazy stuff.
Daryl, man, you know how the show rolls. Give your thoughts, bro.
Yeah, so I think when your team's that vocal and they're talking about how they're all fighting men and they can beat you on the worst day of their life and you're nothing, and then you come out weeks before the fight and pull out, it just looks terrible. The thing is, if Tommy Fury doesn't actually talk that much trash, but it's the dad John that gets him into all this trouble. Like you said.
So let me just quick butt in. I know I'm being naughty. I will let you talk after this, but I'm asking, who's the worst out of the Furies for talking shit? Who was the worst?
It's got to be John, because Tyson Fury's backed it up. Tyson Fury actually gets in the ring and does his business. And every time he's talked shit, he's come out there and he's still undefeated. So it tells you what you need to know. But with John Fury, we've not seen him have a fight yet. So it's a bit bizarre. But there we go.
Carry on now.
But with Tommy, I think this is actually a really good fight for Tommy. They're both pretty evenly matched. They both have had less than 10 fights. They're both novices around the same level, similar in attributes as well in terms of height, reach, stuff like that. So it would have been a good fight, and it was probably Tommy's coming out fight to where we'd actually be able to see what level he's at, and it'll cross him over onto the mainstream even more. So for him to pull out, it's a bit of a shame, but. Look, under normal circumstances, I think people would have been fine with the pullout and a reschedule. But because of who he is and who his dad is, it just makes life very, very difficult for him. But yeah, he's going to find it hard to live this one down, to be fair, because you don't see Fury's pulling out too many times. I think Tyson's only pulled out once from memory against that. Was it against Ustinov? Yeah, against Ustinov many years ago. But that was family reasons, so I understand.
With COVID. He pulled out a while or two with COVID. Everybody said he was full of shit, but there you go.
Yeah, exactly. But look, I pulled out of a fight once myself. I had a Muay Thai fight, and it was 4 weeks before. I was training, and I got foot swept, and I landed on my elbow, and I
Mm.
had shooting pains all up into my neck, tight traps, everything, and I couldn't spar, I couldn't train. I got shit for it. People were like, "Oh, why are you pulling out? Don't pull out. You should fight him with one arm." But at the time,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know,
Oh,
people
wait,
talk all kinds of stuff.
were these guys telling you this? Were they actually fighting? Yeah, these guys telling you this shit. Yeah, they'd actually been in the ring and fought, right?
Yeah, the people that were telling me that were other coaches. They were
Oh,
telling me that I should still fight.
nah,
But it's a bit mad because in a similar situation, when you see their fighters get injured, they pull out off the shows, but they'll
yeah.
tell you to continue to fight. So you got to be very careful who you take your advice from.
Let me just ask you. I'm trying to get some. I've become very badly prepared actually, so I'll try and prepare a little bit more while you're yapping away. Have you got at least another 5 more minutes for me, Darryl? Because I know you're.
Yeah, of course,
Sure, yeah, it's
of
fine.
course,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
I'll keep on for as long as you want to be on it. But some people need to get off, and I hold them on a bit too long. Let me ask you, right? I'm going to try and get these tweets up, but a few people in the media are saying this is the end of Tommy Fury's career. What do you think to that? Do you think that's effectively it? They're saying Tommy Fury will never be able to live this down. This is effectively, he might as well retire. I'm not joking. I'm trying to get the tweets up, but some sections of the media have come out, and probably ironically, Daryl, probably the same sections of the media that are licking the ring piece of his older brother 24/7. But nevertheless, that's what's going on. Just give us your thoughts on that. And do you think this fight will happen again? Do you think when Tommy Fury inevitably reaches out to Jake Paul in a month's time and says, can we comes out of his begging bowl and says, please, sir, can I have the rematch? What do you think will happen?
I think those kind of comments are just pretty hateful because, to be honest, in a couple of months' time, we'll all forget about this and it'll be on to the next news cycle. So
Exactly.
if someone's saying that they don't think Tommy Fury's career is going to do anything or go anywhere, it's probably because they've got a personal vendetta against him or his family, to be fair. Because there's been many fighters who've pulled out of bigger fights than this, and no one gives them shit in their career still done things. So yeah, it's just that's just reactionary in a moment, I think. But yeah, does the fight happen? I'm not sure if it will. The reason why I say that is because there are a lot of MMA fighters who are being released from big promotions. Like Kevin Lee got released from the UFC.
Okay.
I think just earlier this week. So when they become available, I think the Pauls will look at fighting those kind of guys who have got a bigger name value in the US than fighting Tommy Fury.
Do
So
you think they might ask?
potentially,
Do you think they might ask for less money than Tommy? Because Tyrone Woodley is coming in for the rematch. He's not taking half of me. He's getting more than that. But do you think some of these fighters like Kevin Lee might possibly also ask for less money than Tommy Fury? Maybe they might not get a million. So maybe there'd be more incentive from Jake Paul to make them kind of fights.
definitely, because Kevin Lee came out on an interview just earlier this week saying in the 7 years that he was in the UFC, he barely touched $1 million US in pay. So he would probably take a fight for 250, 300 grand, whereas Tommy Fury wanted $1 million. So yeah, that will make a lot more financial sense to the Pauls.
Mate, I'm just going to go through some of these comments and then to see what you think about these. Joe Wall says, I agree with Daryl. Big John is a problem for Team Fury, but what can you do? He's their dad. Do you know that fucking interview with John Fury? What was he doing in that interview? He was threatening sexual assault, GBH against an LCD TV screen I had him for, and also had him for misgendering Jake Paul. I'm surprised he didn't get done for that, Daryl, in this current woke climate. Turning around and assuming Jake Paul's gender, saying you don't have a dick, you've got a snatch. Fucking hell, well.
Do you know what though? That does actually show how much the general public do like Big John, because if they didn't, Ofcom would have been full of complaints and people would have wanting to burn him in the streets with pitchforks and torches. So it does show how much he's crossed over and how much people do actually like him, because they've given him the benefit of the doubt on that one. But he can't. I don't think that's his one chance. I don't think he's going to be able to get away with doing that one again.
John Fury, Daryl, in my opinion, I think we're agreeing on this. He's on thin ice. If some people are saying that BT are going to get rid of him, like they just can't afford to keep him on because he's a fucking liability every time he gets on the mic. I think they would. I think they would have brought him in the studio for this Jake Paul versus thingy fight, and also because they want to keep Tyson on board as well. But Do you think now John Fury's in the sort of the last chance saloon? You know, the BBC have actually, and that's something I want to get your views on in a minute, Daryl, actually. The BBC have already come after Tyson Fury before. We remember when Fury had his meltdown and made some comments, which, by the way, I personally very much disagree with what Fury said about people back from the other side, obviously. But Fury made his comments. He had the BBC on his fucking doorstep, literally hunting him down and harassing him and stuff like that. And listen, I think the mainstream have been gunning for the Furies now for some time. And John Fury might be the way they can finally sort of take the Furies down the notch. What do you think, Daryl?
He is the weak link in the chain in terms of he's willing to say anything. He's not PC. He'll say anything. He doesn't give a shit. One day he's talking out, I'm just a quiet man, and I like to be respectful, and I just like to eat my rabbit and chill out. And next thing is threatening to gouge people's eyes out and bottle them and shag their nan, and you know what I mean? This man's bipolar. He'll do anything, say anything.
Yeah, look at this fool, I call him Bear Grylls. Let me get this up on the phone. You can see the script, Bear Grylls. But this dude, yeah, look. John Fury making breakfast. Do you know what it is, Daryl, yeah? I'm starting to get, sick to the fucking back teeth of these trainer dads. I think you heard me say that on Saturday. I mean, look, you got this fool here, yeah, Big John Fury making us Tyson. But you got Big John Fury, look, cooking with John Fury, yeah? So, look at this. I don't think you see those fucking pork chops, man. I don't know what's going on there, but them pork chops look like they've been over the campfire for about a few hours, man. Looks like he's had them pork chops gone over the fire for like fucking half a day. Go on.
That pork chop was just seasoned with hope and optimism, brother. There's no seasoning like that thing at all.
It's burnt, man. That pork chop. Jesus fucking Christ Almighty.
What I will say though is big up for Andy Puro for even eating that thing there, man, because he got a strong stomach.
Yeah, well, he did. Listen, I feel I'm actually on very good terms with Boxing Social, so I could probably play this video and get away with it, but I'm not going to do the thing. But I wanted to so you got this full Big John Fury, yeah? Like you said, he's cooking, like, you know, talking about being in the outdoors. Apparently, he just likes being in the wilderness, Daryl. He fucking turned around with a straight face and said, I don't like being around people. What he fucking said, Daryl. So what are you doing after dinner speaking for? And then jumping into every fucking press conference. But then, Daryl, you've also got this other muppet here. Who, I'll be honest, I wouldn't say it to his face, but I have to be honest with you. You know who's coming, yeah? This guy here, look. This guy, I call him the new John Fury. See this guy here?
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus fucking Christ. At least John Fury's son's actually done something, i.e., yeah, pretty much hold every version of the world title. Because Tyson Fury's hold pretty much every single belt that he could have in existence, yeah? All the way from the Irish title to the WBC Ring Magazine title. But this fucking guy here, Mr. Prawn Cracker Challenge, yeah? Big John Fisher, doing a prawn cracker challenge with his son. Look at him here, look. You can't get rid of this guy. Look at this guy. What has this guy ever achieved in boxing? Or what has this guy ever achieved in sport? Do you know what I mean? Think of all the prospects we got out there. But I see his mug all over the TV screen 24/7, Daryl. What are your views on some of these fucking trainer dads that we've got on in a minute?
The British public have a fascination with anybody who sounds or looks like they're like Dave from a pub, like someone that they might know. Like, even if the guy has no relevance to the sport or knows nothing about the sport, just because he comes across like personable and funny and a bit of a geezer and a bit of a laugh, then that's the guy that we want to be putting on TV and giving interviews to. Like, what does that guy ever talk about other than how many Chinese he smashed? I had a Kung Pao prawns last night and an egg fried rice and a number 5 and a number 15. What the fuck's that all about?
That's what I tried to find one for Shevin the other day. There's literally a video of him. He's literally spending 2 minutes going through what him and his son order on a Chinese. No joke. 2 minutes of him just go through the menu of what him and his son order down Chinese. Like,
it is bizarre. I don't get it. I would love for the guys in the comments to let me know what it is about this guy that it makes him entertaining. I'm so confused.
Because you know what it is, and we'll get on to our next story now, Darren. They all turn around and say that he's a bastard, but I guarantee they probably watch all these videos. Right, let's drag this up. What do you guys think about this? Egg fried rice. Shevin, I'm going to get you that video. This dude literally spends 2 minutes going through the whole fucking menu. The whole menu. Right.
They've even done an interview where they were in his house, him and his son Johnny, and they'd ordered a Chinese. So they had about 55 boxes of Chinese in the house, all over the table for 6 people. 55 fucking boxes. This guy's a professional athlete. My man's eating Chinese like it's going out of fashion. Mad.
Right. Tyson Fury threatens to sue the BBC if he's nominated for Sports Personality of the Year. Fury is the 4th favourite for the. We know there's no way on this planet Tyson Fury is winning that award, obviously. Fury is the 4th favourite for the award and expected to be shortlisted when it is announced next week. Daryl, what are your thoughts on this? Is Tyson Fury just full of guff? Should he even be bothering to sue the BBC? Shouldn't he just let them nominate him and not say nothing at all? And yeah, just your thoughts on BBC Personality of the Year. Daryl, to be honest, with you being a man of colour like I am, I'm surprised you're not nominated, mate. I mean, the bar these days seems awfully fucking low, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? I put on about 5 stone over 5 kilos over lockdown. I'm surprised I haven't been fucking nominated either. But go on, Daryl, just give us some of your thoughts on Fury and Sports Personality. It looks like the war is back on again.
He's very smart because he knows that he's not going to win it because he'll never win it. I think he'll always become like there or thereabouts as a finalist, but I don't think he'll win because there are too many stiff upper lip types who are involved in the BBC or vote for it.
Do you think he's got a case? Do you think he should have won one of them?
I think he should, to be honest. Yeah, he should have won at least one. Probably the year that he beat Klitschko, he deserved it.
I'm trying to figure out with this BBC thing. The one thing I'm trying to figure out is the word personality. It's the BBC Sports Personality of the Year. It's not BBC Biggest Sporting Achievement of the Year. It's BBC Sports Personality of the Year. I can't think of anybody in British sport who's got a bigger personality than Tyson Fury. This flipping tennis player, whatever her name is, I know what her name is, but I'm not going to say it. But this flipping tennis player who done a very good job and won the US Open. US Open, yeah. Listen, she went out and won.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, she went out and won a Grand Slam. Not quite the same, yeah, as being punched in the face by one of the most destructive punches in boxing history. Not quite the same as hitting a fucking green ball over a net and running after it, but fair play, right? Where's the personality? I'm just going to get some of the nominees up from last year. I'm struggling to see when the BBC come up with this where the personalities are. Do you got any thoughts on that, Daryl?
She's young, well-behaved, middle class, and well-spoken. So she ticks all the boxes for them, doesn't she? That's why she won it.
Gotta be careful. Carry on.
I think Andy Murray's won it before, hasn't he? And he's not got a personality. So
Jesus. What about putting a fucking glass eye to sleep, right? Talk about someone who could literally put a glass eye to sleep. Murray. Carry on.
Yeah. So that tells you right there that it's not about the personality. It's all just very subjective, and it's about ticking the boxes that they want in any given year. I don't believe Tyson Fury will ever win it because of comments he's made in the past. He singled himself out as being too much of a maverick and too controversial. And they know that if they give him that award, what will happen the next day is all the social justice warriors will start complaining and write comments saying how much of a disgrace it is, and they don't want those kinds of problems. So they'll never allow him to win.
Let me tell you, see this Ultratech Sports Personality of the Year awards. If anybody's got a fucking problem with me putting Tyson Fury number one, any SJWs, go around Tyson's house in Morecambe and knock on the door and tell him. Instead of all this fucking Twitter business, all these SJWs on Twitter, go and knock on his door and ask him about it. This is who came number 3 in Sports Personality of the Year. This woman came 3rd, right? Have you ever heard of Holly Doyle before? Holly Doyle. She's never heard of her. There you go. No. She came 3rd. She came ahead of Tyson Fury in 2020. So 2020 was when Fury went and knocked out Wilder to become the ring and lineal champion. I think he's only the 2nd person or one of the 3rd person in the history of boxing to retain or to win the Ring Magazine heavyweight title twice. I think
has any boxer ever won it? Because I don't think they have they? Because from memory, like Prince Nash should have won it, for example. Like he's a massive personality, but did he even win one? I don't think he did he? So, correct me if I'm wrong on that. It's someone in the chat, but I don't think he has. So, if he hasn't won it, then I don't believe any boxer's ever going to win it.
Yeah, I tell you who I think it's got the biggest chance. We'll go back to Fury and finish up on this one. Anthony Joshua. You know, if they get any excuse to give it to him, surely he's going to get it, eh?
Well, he'll have to win a couple of fights in the meantime first for that to happen. Yeah. But he does actually tick all the boxes that they're looking for. So
Daryl, hold on. Someone's saying, right, did Ryan Giggs win it? Ryan Giggs? Is that a fucking...
they need to retrospectively take that away from him after what he did to his brother's missus. Fucking hell.
Did Ryan Giggs win Sports Personality of the fucking Year? But they won't give it to Tyson Fury. But they
shout out to Rodri Giggs, Ryan Giggs' brother, because he seems like a really good guy. But yeah, that's fucked up, man.
Fucking God. 2009, Ryan Giggs Sports Personality of the fucking Year award. Wow. This man was nobbling his brother's fucking wife for years behind his back. Years. Wow. Fucking hell of a personality he's fucking got. Daryl, all right, before we let you go, Daryl, let's finish up with some questions, and then I'm gonna carry on. Let me open us up with some questions. What fights are you looking forward to the most for the rest of the year? Are there any fights that you're looking forward to for the most for the rest of the year? Oh, by the way, if you've got any more thoughts on the Furies, and I tell you what, let me ask you as well. Fury's talked about he'll fight Dillian White next if he's mandatory. People will be interested to know, what do you think about the Dillian White situation, and do you think Fury will fight him next? I think that fight will happen, but let me know what you think about that.
I think in the hierarchy of what they're looking for, they'll want Joshua to step aside so that Fury and Usyk can fight, and then I think Fury will vacate the belts and leave Joshua to pick up the pieces, and then maybe come back to fight him in 2 years' time once he's partied and had fun and whatever else. If that can't happen, then I think they'll look to make Fury and Dillian White next, and then Joshua will fight Usyk, and the winners of that will fight each other. And then I think Joe Joyce will be next in line to fight whoever has the belts at that time. So I think that's what they're looking to do. But do I think Joshua will step aside?
Do you think he wants to? Do you think he wants to fight Usyk? Do you think he really wants to?
I think he's torn. I think he does want to fight him from a pride theme, because he's a man at the end of the day and he's a fighter, so he wants to get his pride back. But at the same time, I think the business side of his operations, and like there's a voice in the back of his head that probably says, look, you can just take this money and then you can get paid twice. You get paid once from the step aside money, and you get paid again when you fight the winner. So like that logically makes a lot more sense. And that's probably the option from a business perspective that he'd be looking to go down. But his inner pride will probably be telling him, no, forget that. Let's just fight Usyk.
It's unbelievable. And just, I think, your opinion, do you think Usyk and AJ will happen? So do you think, just yes or no, do you think he'll step aside?
No, I don't think he will.
No, I don't think he will. I don't think he will. I think he'll come close, but I don't think he will. Right, Daryl, right, any final thoughts that you want to have on boxing this weekend? Any thoughts on like Anthony Yarde, or what you saw over the weekend with Anthony Yarde and Khamzat Chimaev? The other thing I wanted to say quickly, I'll quickly do it while you're here, Daryl. Khamzat Chimaev has released a statement, right? He's called for the rematch, Khamzat Chimaev. I'm trying to fucking find it, but I can't find it. But Khamzat Chimaev has made a statement on Instagram. He's called for, here it is. He has called for a rematch with Bradley Skeet. He said there's no rematch clause, but he's going to be instructing his team, so Frank Warren and team, to make the fight early next year. And Khamzat Chimaev says he's got no intention of moving on until he's given Bradley Skeet the rematch. Any thoughts on that? And just any thoughts you've got on Anthony Yarde? Absolutely destructive performance against Linden. Wiped him out.
Khamzat Chimaev has to rematch him. The uproar on social media was palpable. It was very, very dirty. I think he knew what he was doing. He was frustrated. It was getting out. He was getting schooled, and he's getting frustrated. And out of frustration, he did something dirty that he probably regrets in hindsight. I think rematching Skeet again is a good move. It allows him to refine areas and make adjustments to prove that he can actually beat a guy on that kind of level before he moves up. And I think it make the public happy, and it's the right thing to do anyway. I think he beats Skeet in the rematch as well, because I think he'll know where he went wrong.
I think he gets him out of there easy. I think he's going to get Skeet out of there real quick. Any thoughts on Yarde's performance from over the weekend?
Well, destructive. I'm not going to lie to you. Before the fight, I thought Arthur was going to beat him by points again. But what I noticed in the early couple of rounds, I think the first 2 rounds, was Arthur couldn't establish his jab. His foot positioning was really good, especially in the opening round. Like every time Yarde took a couple of steps forward, Arthur will take a couple of steps back. But what he wasn't doing as a second thing to that was putting the jab in there to maintain the distance. And he was just stepping back, hitting the ropes, and then Yarde was coming onto him and fighting on the inside in In the first round, he did a really good job of tying Yard up and making sure that he couldn't be bullied in the clinch. But then I think after a while, he got so focused on just grabbing Yard and trying to tie him up, he forgot he actually got to throw some punches back. So while he was trying to grab Yard was actually just working on the inside and throwing a lot of body work, and then eventually it broke him down. I think he was too negative, too defensive. He was focused more on what Yard was doing rather than what he wanted to establish himself.
Do you think he was spooked by the power, Daryl? Do you think that he might, because he got hurt? Do you have to agree with me? I'm just saying he got hurt very early on in round one with a right hand. And do you think he got hit hurt? He got hit hurt hard early. He got hurt early, and after that, he like went into his shell a little bit in terms of he didn't want to sort of expose himself a little bit too much, and that's why he was so clean to sort of engage in the clinches, dog walk him, and basically it looked like what he was trying to do was basically trying to get through the storm. It looked like what he was trying to do, he was just trying to survive basically and take it past six and then take over in a fight. But do you think he was he got a little bit spooked by the power and went into his shell a little bit too much, maybe a bit too negative possibly?
Whenever a guy's taking punches in a fight and he's laughing or shaking his head or making faces, at the very least, it means he felt something. So he felt the power. I'm not sure if it hurt him, but he felt it and he knew it was there, because he was. It's like a confidence thing. It's like you're trying to let the guy know that didn't hurt me or you can't move me, and you're letting the crowd know that this guy hasn't got anything for me. But he was smiling and laughing a lot in the opening rounds. But I think a lot of that was probably nervousness and because he was feeling the power. But I think, again, he got too focused on what Yard was doing rather than trying to establish and be proactive and open up his own offense. He was very, very negative, and I think he needs to work on putting together his combinations a bit more, because he has got that in his arsenal, but I think he was very, very cautious, and that's probably credit to Yard, because Yard has got that much power. It makes guys come off their game because they know they've got to be wary of what's coming back.
If you were Linden Arthur, would you continue to fight with Queensby, or would you say I'm done with Frank Warren, given what you might have seen Frank Warren and Anthony Yard's changing room saying
he has to. It's like the whole Joe Joyce and Dubois thing when they fought the first time. Like, obviously Warren was very much in Dubois' corner, and everybody knew that. Joe Joyce knew that, even though they were fighting on the same promotion. And the same things happened here again, where they're both on the same promotion, but Warren's not being impartial. He's just like, my man's Anthony Yard, and he's letting Linden Arthur know that from early. So, like, Warren's now got he's got Yard, Arthur, and Callum Johnson, right, all under the same banner. So out of those three, Arthur's now on the bottom of the pile. So he's not going to get any preferential treatment. And I think the way he's been treated by Warren hasn't been great. So if he's got other, go on, Ultra.
No, sorry, brother. No, I'm sorry for cutting you off. I need to stop cutting people off, but I will let you carry on. Sorry, I was just saying. I just want to clarify. I do agree with you. I feel very uncomfortable as someone who makes a living from the Frank Warren payroll, as you very well know, Daryl. I feel very, very uncomfortable with some of the things I've seen from Frank Warren backstage. The Bradley Skeet one makes me more uncomfortable, because Bradley Skeet was a long-time Frank Warren fighter, and they'd blown smoke up his ass when he went over to Matchroom and beat up Sam Egerton. All of a sudden, Skeet was the flavour of the month, right? And then when Skeet was done wrong in the ring, Frank's sort of pretending that he never saw nothing. Do you know what I mean? Trying to brush over it. I wasn't happy with that. The Linden Arthur thing I wanted to ask you about, though, was just finishing up on Linden Arthur. The only thing I'll say about Linden Arthur was, I do think Linden Arthur and his team are partly to blame, because they signed the fucking rematch clause as part of signing for the first fight. So as part of signing for the first fight, they signed a rematch clause which said, look, there can be a rematch, yeah? So he signed that. And then what they tried to do was get away with it. They tried to get out of it. As far as that's what I was.
I saw a comment from Sonny Edwards on Twitter yesterday saying the reason they signed for the rematch is because they would never have got the first fight initially if they didn't sign for it as one of the clauses. But that's fair enough. But then you can't cry and complain about it afterwards.
That is absolutely standard in boxing, though, isn't it? Getting a fight,
standard stuff.
But the guy who's I don't like using the word ace side, but the guy who calls the shots or whatever says, look, if things go tits up, I get a rematch. And that's not just in case the guy loses, to be fair. That's in case there's head clashes and other things that go on as well. But listen, there's no question Frank Warren is in the tank for Anthony Yard. There's no question about that. But I'm just have to be.
But I think the Arthur camp's reasoning was probably in their minds, the first fight was so conclusive and it was a wide points victory from their perspective that they didn't think it was justifying a rematch.
Yeah.
But that's very subjective. So some people had it the other way. So I don't think I don't think they really had a leg to stand on that one, to be honest.
But Daryl, quickly, what do you think? Do you think Matcham could really do anything with Linden Arthur? If you do, let me know. But do you think Linden Arthur's the kind of fighter that Matcham could do? I'm hoping really that there's some kind of fight by fight deal that could be done. Because listen, Frank's still got some light heavyweights. There's still some light heavyweight fights out there for Linden Arthur. So I'm hoping, that cooler heads can prevail. We all saw the situation with Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce actually ended up extending his contract with Frank Warren. And actually, I can tell you, I mean, I don't know personally, but the impression I get is that Sam Jones, Frank Warren, and Joe Joyce actually work really well together. And Sam Jones is really happy with what's going on down there. Otherwise, they wouldn't have signed an extension. And obviously, Joe Joyce is now highly ranked with the WBC and also is right in line to fight for the WBO. So he got delivered for there. So, but do you think maybe a Matcham could do anything with Linden Arthur, or do you think he'll end up on Boxer? What do you think will happen?
Matcham couldn't do anything with Buatsi. So if they can't do anything with him, then a guy who's less marketable like Arthur, he doesn't really speak very much. They're going to really struggle. I think Arthur's the kind of guy who's going to need to go on the road. He's going to need to be an opponent against guys who are highly ranked. And go out on the road and just beat them, and just be the B side in 2 or 3 fights, be the away fighter, but win and keep winning and keep upsetting the odds, and eventually he'll cross over. But I don't think he's ever really going to be an A side unless he can be the main man on a promotion. So it's maybe like Boxer or Probellum. Maybe I don't know what fighters. Is Probellum an extension of MTK? Like, who are Probellum? Because I'm not really sure. I've seen Sam Jones has gone over there, but who are they and who are they owned by?
Honestly, I don't have a clue. I keep hearing that they're MTK V2. I had a chat with someone. I asked somebody inside boxing, what the fuck is going on with Probellum? And the answer was Ultra. Let me give you a call. I'm going to tell you all about it. That fucking phone call never happened. But he's a good bloke as well. He phoned me up and he said, right, Ultra, can I phone you today? You ready to have this chat? Never fucking phoned. But I was supposed to get a bit of inside information because I want to know a few other things about Probellum. But from what I've heard, it's just MTK rebranded. Yeah,
right. I thought it might be because like they're signing a lot of fighters and in random countries as well, like Angola and all over the place. So yeah, it's interesting. I've got my own theories about that, but we'll probably best leave that for another show.
Yeah. Send me some. I'm gonna hit this guy up again actually because I wanted to know. Yeah, I'll tell you guys at another point because there's something that I wanted to find out about Probellum actually. All right, okay. I haven't seen the Gervonta Davis fight, so people are asking me about Gervonta Davis.
I watched it. I watched it last night. I watched it. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you because I haven't watched it. So because when I watch a fight, Daryl, I really do watch it. So it's for me, it's a bit of a like, because I have to really watch it. I don't just like watching the background. Like I'll watch it and sometimes I'll play bits back and stuff. So. Do you think that was a robbery? Because everyone on Twitter say it's a robbery. It
wasn't a robbery. What I would say is it looked very similar to Maidana versus Mayweather. Not for skill level, before you guys get on to me, not for skill level and quality, just in terms of how the fight went. It was Isaac Cruz marching forward, throwing big bombs, big power from round 1 to 12. He never stopped throwing. He was throwing from very awkward angles. It was like he was throwing like he was bowling a cricket ball at times. He was just very, very wild and aggressive. And Gervonta Davis was blocking a lot of them on arms. He was pivoting off. He was moving backwards a lot. He was trying to find his uppercuts. And eventually, after about 4 or 5 rounds, he started to open up his own offense and back Isaac Cruz up at times. But Isaac Cruz never stopped coming forward and proved he's got a fantastic chin. Gervonta Davis took a lot of shots himself, especially in the second half of the fight. He got caught flush a fair few times, but he never looked close to being hurt. And that showed me that Gervonta Davis has got a fantastic chin. His chin is not going to be an issue, I don't think, because he took some shots flush that he didn't even see, and it didn't wobble him. He just took it and rode the shots.
One sec, Daryl. Someone's saying the sound's gone out. The sound seems fine to me. Absolutely fine. Let me just grab my phone. It's a damn shame. Let me check this, Daryl. We've got a world exclusive here that I'm about to play. It's Tommy Fury from his Instagram. Not sure if they can do me for this, so I'm going to play it in just a second. Let me just do a check on the sound. I'm sure the sound's fine. One sec. Sounds fine. I can hear it. I played it on my mobile phone. Daryl, you want to hear this?
Yeah, come on.
It's the man himself.
So, guys, I'm sure you've all seen and heard the news as to why I'm not fighting on December the 18th now. Just thought I'd come in here and tell you myself. Training camp couldn't have gone any better for me for the first week, 2 weeks. But then I contracted a bacterial chest infection, which led me go to the gym and just not being able to breathe. You know, I was in my sparring sessions, pad work sessions, whatever it may be, just not being able to breathe and coughing up huge amounts of phlegm all the time, led me to sleepless nights. And that went on for about 4 weeks because I had the mindset of, I'm going to keep training, I'm going to get through this, I'm going to have to fight no matter what. And 4 weeks passed and we decided to have a sparring session, and I took a little clip to the body, and because my body was so weak due to the virus inside of me, I instantly knew something wasn't right. I was throwing up from the pain, I was doubled over. I literally got my bag and went straight to the hospital, straight for an MRI scan, and I got the results back the same day, and the results uncovered that I had a clean break in my rib. I'm going to insert the picture here so you can see for yourself. And I had multiple fractures. I still, for the following week thought, do you know what, it'll be fine, I can fight. And then it really, it took the doctor and my whole team to really say, listen, you've got a broken rib and multiple fractures here, like you can't fight. And even now, sitting here filming this video, it hasn't really sank in that I'm not fighting. All my focus is on right now is getting a new fight date set and recovery. That's all I can do right now. I can't do anything else apart from get my body right as quickly as possible and look for a new fight date with Jake Paul. There's no other fight that I want out there. That's the fight that I want next. And like I said, guys, I'm just going to recover now, and hopefully we can work out a new date for next year. Finally, guys, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who supported me throughout the whole training camp. Obviously, everyone's going to have their own opinions about the situation and what they think, but there is nothing, when it comes down to it, I can do about being medically unfit to fight. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you very soon.
Wow.
Daryl, I'm going to leave it to you, yeah? Just give me your initial thoughts.
I think he should have left it as an Instagram post and uploaded the scans and the pictures and stuff there, because when you're rambling on like that about, it's not rambling, I'm being a bit unfair. He's explaining what happened, but it sounds like excuses and no one wants to hear it. Just do a press release in the form of an Instagram post with the scans and leave it at that, man. Because when you're going on for a minute talking about sleepless nights and this and that, and we know boxers have fought through worse. No one wants to hear it, man. No one wants to hear it. I'm sorry.
What did you think about the cuts? The first thing I noticed in this video was the amount of jump cuts there were. It was like, like you watch them fucking them YouTubers, them fucking vloggers. They like to jump cut all over the place. Fucking jump cuts everywhere. I find that quite interesting in there. Let's see if we can get to these scans. Oh, look, how coincidental. I'm not even joking. As soon as I said the word scans, they've magically appeared. Oh my gosh, can we see this? The magic of the internet, Daryl. I don't know if you can make some of this out, but I can. Let's have a look at these scans. Based on these findings, I feel Mr. Fury is not fit to fight on his proposed date of 18th December. I will be arranging a consultation with a something surgeon. I can't read from that in a few weeks to have Mr. Fury reviewed and a potential repeat MRI scan to be advised or to be arranged in 5 to 6 weeks.
But Ultra fighters have had broken hands and broken noses and confirmed that with doctors and still fought. So it doesn't really tell us anything.
Do you know? Diagnosis: likely bacterial lower respiratory tract infection, chest infection, and multi-level complex rib fracture. Chevron is going to bat in the chat for Tommy Fury because he's saying that, listen, at least Tommy Fury has provided the scans, and these scans do look legit, unless they come from Dr. Google, right? Or Dr. Mario, who remembers that? There's a joke in there somewhere. Yeah, Daryl, let's go through some comments. I'll read a comment, Daryl, all right? Let's go through some comments, and you respond to these comments. So I'll read the comments out, and then you give us your thoughts, all right? You ready?
Yeah.
Sure? You want to do it?
Yeah, I'm ready, yeah.
Big Koala, all that is bollocks. Sleepless nights, no.
Unfair, I think. Yeah, give him a bit of benefit of the doubt.
Chevron, There you have it. Scans, not report from a doctor.
Yeah, I rate him. I rate him giving scanned. It makes it more authentic. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, well, I'm still waiting for Dillian White scans. Where the fuck is Dillian? Do you know what? Ironically, I know Tommy Fury's getting a lot of heat right now. Look, we gave him heat in the first half of the episode, but he has produced scans. Where's Dillian White scans for that fucking shoulder, Daryl? Have you seen them?
We'll be waiting a long time for that, mate. Hell will freeze over first.
Dillian White shoulder scans. I'm still waiting for those scans because you know Eddie Hearn's going to be on in a minute in 5 minutes on IFL TV with his best mate. Yeah, what's his name? Cougs, the cover-up man, aka Winston Wolfe. Yeah, aka Winston Wolfe, and these two will be banging on about how Tommy Fury's.
One thing I will say about Coogan to balance it out because he does get a lot of shit and a lot of it he deserves. But I will say this: Coogan has never claimed to be impartial. Coogan has always said, if you follow Coogan for a while, you will know he tells you straight that he's got biases and he's got his favourites. So at least he doesn't pretend like he's trying to do a journalism thing because that's not what it is with Coogan.
Fair enough. I'm cool with that. Listen, I've got no problem with people disagreeing with me or calling me out as long as they blah blah blah. Let's just go through some more of these. Hold on a minute. Games You Love says, does it have his name on the scans? It does have his name on the scans, as you can see. Mr. Fury. Can you actually see the writing, Dan? I don't know if you can. I can see the writing, but maybe it's because I'm on a large monitor.
Yeah, I can't see it on my phone.
Okay, no worries. No, he does have his name on it. Dave Lane Darrell says his chest sounded good talking for 2 minutes straight.
He could have had medicine like a few minutes before. You don't even know. Maybe he had a medicine or something to clear his chest out first. Man. Now I'm making excuses for the brother. You know?
These guys are ruthless, Daryl. They don't give a shit. It's like what he said before. Daryl, the first thing Daryl said when he came on was, these people don't want to hear it. And he's been proven wrong. Right, let's have a look. Oh, Jesus. TMT, I'm not reading that. Otherwise, you're going to get me done up the arse for that. Let's have a look. LOE Mark says, no, I'm not going through that. They're all mentioning Wild Boar. So,
the Wild Boar shouts are fair, to be honest, because that's been proven.
No, they are actually fair, but I just don't want Daniel Kinahan knocking on my door. It seems fashionable to shit on the lad because he's a fury, in my opinion. Richard from Twitter says, in fairness, it's more than Billy Joe or White have put out there. I'm still waiting for Billy Joe scans. Carry on, Daryl.
Billy Joe has bigger problems at the moment. If anyone's been following, I'm not gonna get into ins and outs, but there are some potential criminal charges that he may be facing at some point in the future. We'll keep our eyes posted for that one. Billy Joe's been a bit of a naughty boy recently, I think.
But why would they face criminal charges? I thought those guys don't talk to the cops.
Well, from what I saw, it was caught on CCTV or something like that. So,
I see. Daryl, did what you saw in this video from Tommy Fury change your opinion in any sort of way? Were you sort of on the fence beforehand? But I didn't even ask you, Daryl. Do you think that, look, the bottom line of it is the pressure has got to him, injury or not? Do you think the whole pressure that he's been put under by his father, the whole pressure of, potentially losing the Fury name and all this BS, and his father coming out and saying stuff like, well, if he can't beat Jake Paul, he's got to back it up. Do you think, you've been through a camp? To be honest, Daryl, you're one of the few of us here who've actually been through like a fucking training camp. Do you know what I mean? I know for a fact fighters can get ill very, very quickly when they push their bodies to limits they've never been pushed before. I know that for a fact. I remember actually there was a boxer who you probably don't remember, but he was a Frank Warren fighter, a big prospect called Mitchell Smith. And he ended up, Mitchell Smith, and he ended up joining Adam Booth, and he just got ill every day because he went from not training at all to training like a madman. He got colds. I've had colds from periods when I've really gone at it. So, do you think, Daryl, it's a case of, right? Some of this I could be wrong, but some of the the infections he's getting, or some of it, is he just worn down, Daryl? Is it a case of he's training harder than he's ever trained before? Plus, he's got the weight of the world, Daryl, on top of his shoulders as well. You seen the fucking video sitting down here talking about sleepless nights. His own father's on fucking IFL TV saying we're going to disown you if you fucking lose, Daryl. Not literally.
He's still a novice coming up. So at this stage of his career, I think any comments like that are just really going to get into his head and make life a lot harder than it has to be. And I don't really think this fight needed to be sold like that. I think the Pauls were doing enough talking for the both of them. So all he really had to do was get in there and fight. So it wasn't helpful. But yeah, mate, I've really enjoyed it. I've got to shoot off because I've got to get to work. But mate,
I really apologise for keeping you on, and thanks very much for coming on, man. You've definitely bailed me out, and I'm sorry for keeping you on too. That's why I'm always careful. I keep people on forever. You know what I mean? Sorry about that.
No, I enjoyed it. Thanks, bro. And I'll speak to you again soon, Ultra. Yeah,
right.
Cheers.
Come back soon, Dazza. All right, mate. No worries. There you go. It's the man himself. There, you've heard from Big Daz. Yeah, he's been through camps, boxing and Muay Thai, so he knows what he's fucking talking about. Let's go through some of these comments. We're an hour in, 130 people in the chat. I bet no one's hit the like button. I bet no one's hit the fucking like button. Let's have a look. 130 people in the chat and 47 likes. That is absolutely out fucking rageous. You know what? I see likes like that, and it makes me want to do a Tommy Fury style video with jump cuts included. Is that what you guys want? I feel like doing a Tommy Fury style video with jump cuts included. He looks like a hostage, doesn't he? It looks like I'm going to play it without the sound. I mean, it does look like a hostage video, doesn't it? I mean, no disrespect, but Tommy Fury does look like, what was his name? John Waite, for those of you who were around in the 80s. The man who was taken prisoner in Kuwait. 53 likes. That is absolutely outrageous. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. I've got a bone to pick about that. 130 people in the chat, 53 likes. That's absolutely disgusting. But in the meantime, Tommy Fury, yeah, look at him. He looks, yeah, I tell you, he looks, TMT says, his body does not look very... Oh, for fuck's sake. Crazy D3 says Daryl should be a regular. Daryl is a regular when he wants to be a regular. He spends a lot more time... spends a lot more time, blah, blah, blah. Chicken Dinner says, evening, bro. Stop the waffle and get on with it. What you got to tell me ain't here for your comedy act. Yeah, I'm here to tell you can go and shove it up your ass and go fuck yourself with a broomstick and sit on it until it hits your G-spot. There you go. Richard from Twitter says, Tommy's chained to the radiator. It looks like a hostage video, doesn't it? I wonder who put him up to that. Somebody was monitoring the social media, innit? And they said, fuck me. We can't have all this slander. We need to get this out ASAP. That is it. Yeah, Terry Waite. Yeah, Tommy Fury. Yeah, sitting there looking like Terry Waite in his interview. All that's missing from this video, yeah, is an ISIS gunman, yeah, at the back of Tommy Fury with a fucking balaclava on and an AK-47 pointing to the back of Tommy Fury's head. That's about the only thing missing from this video, just to top it off. Mark Stanton says, Big John behind the camera with a shotgun. Right, guys, final comments, yeah? Look, he's produced the scans, and you guys can see the scans right now. Let me send you a link to the scans. They're on Benson's page, of course. You know what Benson's about. You go to Michael Benson's Twitter page, you'll be able to see it and see the video. Shout out to Michael Benson, one of my favourite people in all the boxing. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's have a look. Yeah, so there's the link in the description. You can see, yes, for those of you asking questions, his name is in the medical documents quite clearly. See? So his name is in the medical documents quite clearly. And his names are in the scans. His name, oh, see, fuck, I zoomed into the wrong thing there. His names are in the medical documents and his name is in the scans. I fucked it up now so you can't see, but you have to trust me on that. You trust me on that. Some of these jokes I can't read. Let's read some of the final comments. Marco says, the lad can't handle the pressure, plain and simple, no shame in it, not everyone's able for it. As someone who boxed 8 years as an amateur, it isn't even easy at that level. Yeah, but for me, Marco, the question would also be, why is he under so much pressure? You know, I think, like I said, he's been put under unnecessary pressure. And I don't think some of the things that his father, John Fury's coming out with, have been very, very helpful. I'm just trying to get one more screenshot of these scans, yeah, from Thing. I mean, you have to give him credit for this. There you go. I mean, you can't see this. I can see it clearly. His name's in them. Dave Lane says, is his date of birth and NHS number on them too? I think they blocked it out. There's definitely some bits of this form that have been... I tell you what, though, ironically, Dave, the name and number of his fucking GP so this is how dumb these guys are. You could literally, if you wanted to now, send an email to Tommy Fury's GP. Because they haven't redacted his email address. His email address is visible and at the bottom of the form. And it was sent by DocuSign. This looks very legit to me. I've worked with DocuSign before as a developer, yeah? I'm not a very good developer, but obviously I had to write an interface for DocuSign so we could send documents to and from DocuSign, blah, 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 blah. I'll bore you about that another time. So you can see here it was sent to Tommy via DocuSign. But yeah, if anybody wants to email Tommy's doctor... Joe says, go on, Ultra, have a chat with him. There you go. Tommy's doctor's email's right there. You can email Tommy's doctor. Jesus Christ. Mark Stanton said something. Here we go. Could he be the first Fury telling the truth and we are rinsing him? There you go. George C., who's got some... pretty sure he's got a medical background or a scientific one at least, says, it looks legit to me. We are still outsiders looking in at the end of the day. TMT says that doctor's going to be harassed by Mel. I'd imagine Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson. Umar. That's what I meant. Umar Johnson. I'd imagine Umar will be fucking emailing that doctor quite imminently. Shall I tell you who'll be on that email? Mike Coppinger. Have you ever seen how Mike Coppinger does his journalism? Go and ask Virgil Ortiz about how Mike Coppinger gets his scoops. Mike Coppinger's the kind of guy to go straight to that doctor and ask him, yo, are you a real doctor? And if you are, it's Tommy Fury. Mike Coppinger will go and demand Tommy Fury's entire medical history. Dave Lane says, been trying to get an appointment at the dentist, 2-year waiting list. Tommy Boy getting letters from his doctor hand delivered. Brother, I'm not joking, yeah? That's a discussion for another day. But the state of this country with GPs and dentists is a joke. Now, I had to have my teeth looked at, right? Because I might have had a possible infection and I needed a possible root canal. I was told I needed to wait, 2 or 3 weeks for an appointment, for a dentist that I was already registered with. And not only did I have to wait 2 or 3 weeks for an appointment, I also had to pay for my appointment in advance. No way. I found a private dentist, literally, ironically, very close to where I live. I found a private dentist within walking distance. I was able to get an appointment the next day. And you are right, Dave. I had to get looked at by a private doctor on Friday. Was it Friday, Shevin? I was sitting in the doctor's surgery and I was sending Shevin pictures of my night trainers. That's what we were talking. I was sitting in the doctor's surgery waiting to get a finger up my asshole, and I was sending Shevin pics of my crepes. Not even joking. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look. Yeah, Tommy probably you've got to have private healthcare. I've got to be careful what I say here, but if you have the money, and it's really not that expensive, but if you have the money, I would say, please, if you have the money, please get private healthcare. I would honestly say that. Don't fuck about with your health. It's not that expensive, man. To get looked at by a private doctor is 100, 200 quid. People go and spend 100, 200 quid on a night out and get absolutely lashed, right? I'm telling you now. If you can, go and see a private doctor if you can. Right, let's go. TMT says that doctor's going to be harassed. I've already read that comment. Right, guys. I think we're ready. Listen. I'm going to leave your final thoughts to you. Last 5 minutes, your final thoughts. You just type in your final thoughts and I will read them out. Have you changed your mind on Tommy Fury in the last hour? In the beginning, when we came on the show, everybody said this injury was bullshit. Even I was highly critical of it. Right now, here's the question. What percentage do you believe Tommy Fury? Right now, I am going to say I 85% believe that Tommy Fury is legitimately injured with a broken rib, right? And he has to miss the fight. What percentage do you believe that Tommy Fury is legitimately injured? I'm going to say he's injured. Bearing in mind that I can see his doctor's fucking GMC number and his doctor's email on the form and Tommy's name's in. Tin's saying 10%. Tin is doctor's emails on the fucking list here. His doctor's email was I can literally email his doctor right now. His GMC practitioner number is literally on the document. So unless that doctor wants to ruin his reputation, I ain't sure. Let's see. TMT saying 50%. TMT's a hard man to... TMT also telling stories about how he eating after eights in France. Forget all this Tommy Fury shit. There needs to be an investigation into TMT. He claims he can get after eights in France. I'm going to check that out, TMT. I'm going to check that out. Davis and Dave says, yeah, changed my mind. I'm now 70-30. So he's 70-30. He believes Tommy Fury. MS22 says 95%. He believes Tommy Fury's injured. Richard from Twitter, 100%. He 100% believes Tommy Fury is injured. James B says 5%. The press conference was too low budget for a big fight. It was remarkably budget, I have to say. What hotel did it? Just like they had it in a fucking Premier Inn, and the satellite connection was embarrassing. Games You Love says Matchroom Mongs will be all over that. Well, listen, as Shevin said, at least he's released the scans. So if any Matchroom Mongs want to slag off Tommy Fury, here's the question, isn't it? Where are Dillian White's scans? Where are Billy Joe Saunders' scans? Dillian White scans are the ones I really want to see. Where's Dillian White's shoulder scans? Tommy Fury released his scans in 2 seconds. Tommy Fury didn't even redact his own doctor's fucking name and email address. That's how transparent Tommy Fury was. He didn't even redact the doctor's fucking email. He might get in trouble for that. Snoop Bob says 90%. He believes 90% he's injured, but I'll doubt he'll get that money again. Joe Wells says 90%. Got to give myself some room to backtrack. George C says 70%, plus or minus 20%. Us scientists always give error ranges. Martin Butler says 99.5%. Crazy D3 says 90% believe Tommy now, 100% believe John Fury has become a laughing. Let's just quickly see these comments on Twitter. I guarantee you, before we look at these comments and go, I guarantee you, yeah, these comments on Twitter are going to say it's all fake. That these people are absolute. Like, you have to understand, Twitter is the absolute loony, but it's full of loonies. Do you understand? Like, let's have a look at these comments. I bet they all say he's faking it. Clown sign laughing, blah, 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 blah. I would like to get a look at this poll. Do you believe Tommy's story? Let's see. Interesting. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Wow, I can't see many people saying, look, there you go. I'm surprised at these comments. I thought people were going to say, I was expecting people to say it's fake and that these documents are fake and that someone's photoshopped them. That's what I was expecting. That's what I was expecting to see. Hold on one sec. Look what someone said here. A bit of CBD from Anthony Fowler and it'll be right as rain. Oh dear, look, here we go. Look, people are speculating this is the moment where he got his ribs broken. Jesus fucking Christ almighty. People are speculating this is why he got his ribs broken. They're saying his brother Tyson did it. Look, heavy duty stuff there. Gee whiz. Blah, 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 blah. Look, this guy doesn't believe it. He says, straight to the hospital for an MRI. Like that happened. This guy doesn't think it's possible to go straight to the hospital to get an MRI. That sounds remarkable. I got taken into hospital a couple of times with a suspected heart problem. And I had about 5 ECGs and an X-ray done in hours. So why is it not possible to go into hospital and get an MRI? I don't understand that. Someone let me know in the comments. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Oh, this guy says the acting lessons have worked well for Tommy. Fair play. But yeah, the comments aren't as bad as what I thought, to be honest. They're not as bad. I thought they'd all be saying it was fake. Documents fake, Photoshop, the lot. I can't. I'm not logged into Twitter. I don't log into Twitter on this machine, so I can't check the poll. But it is what it is. All right, guys. I think we've done this to death. Thank you very, very much for joining me. All right. And take care. Peace out.